easy for you to lose your doctors, but when you begin to lose potential teachers, you are in trouble. Because when we train the next set of people, when the potential teachers are going.
Take off in Grand Star. I want all of us to be on our feet as we take the national anthem and the Great Ife anthem. Thank you very much. You may be seated. I have the singular honor to welcome into our midst our distinguished guest, starting from the Vice Chancellor of this great institution, Professor Simeon Bamire. Jam your hands together for him. The Vice Chancellor is ably represented by Professor M.O. Babalola, the Deputy Vice Chancellor Academics, who is right hand at midst. Jam your hands together for her. And I want to also recognize her in our own capacity as the Deputy Vice Chancellor Academics. You are welcome into our midst. It's a pleasure having you in our midst. We love you. We recognize you. Thank you, ma'am. Next to be brought to the high table will be the Provost of the College of Health Sciences, our own Chief, Professor Babatope A. Kolawole. You are welcome, sir. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us. Next will be the Chairman, Dean of Deans, who also is the Dean of the Faculty of Clinical Sciences of Afro University, Ife, Nigeria. Welcome with me, Professor O.A. Showande. Professor Showande to the high table. Thank you, sir. You are welcome. Without taking more time, I will also be welcoming our guest lecturer, who is the Vice Chancellor of the University of Health Sciences, Unimed, Ondo City, Ondo State, Nigeria. A former provost of the college too, Professor Adesegun Fatusi. You are welcome, sir. One of the alumni is doing well. He's a great ambassador all over the world. Thank you, sir. I also want to welcome to the high table the chairman of the College of Health Sciences Alumni Relations, Professor Boladale Mapayi. Jam your hands together for her. She's been doing a yeoman's job, including making sure that I don't go wrong. Thank you, ma'am. Next will be the president of the College of Health Sciences Alumni Association Worldwide. That is not that president, Professor Adedoyin. Welcome with me, Professor Adedoyin. Thank you very much, sir. Come to the item. Well, I must recognize some Okay, I must recognize some of our dignitaries without taking much of our time. We have in our midst today the immediate past Vice Chancellor, who did a lot of work in making sure that this citadel of learning attains a great art, even a greater one than he met it. Jam your hands together for Professor Eyitope Ogunbodede. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us. We appreciate you. Right in our midst also we have the immediate past provost, who is an active physician and a great teacher, Professor Ike Jadola. You are welcome, sir. Professor Jadola, you are welcome, sir. We recognize the presence of the Vice Chancellor Academics, Professor O.M.A. Jaramola. You are welcome, sir. The Registrar, Mrs. M.I. Omoshile Zami, is in our midst. You are welcome, ma'am. Thanks for blessing this occasion. I also want to recognize the bossa of this great institution, Mr. Eso Anyoshino. If Mr. Eso Anyoshino is there, can you wave your hand, sir? Just been informed of the presence of one of us, a mother in the profession, Professor Patience Akinwusi, all the way from Osun State University, Osogbo. You are welcome, ma. Thank you for being a part of this. Let me recognize all the professors in the college and in the university, all the academic staff and non-academic staff, distinguished students, all the members of the university community, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. You are welcome to the 15th Professor T.A.I. Grillo Distinguished Lecture. And I want to specially recognize the 1987 alumni set, who are the ones sponsoring this program today. If you are in that set, please rise to your feet for recognition. The 1987 alumni set. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma. You are welcome. God bless you, sir, ma. You may have your seat. Without taking more of our time, I think we have to proceed. We'll be honoring our guests as they come in along the line. We'll move on straight as I introduce myself to you. I'm Dapper Adetoye. I'm one of you. One of the alumni. Okay. With me is okay, we'll be moderating this program today. Thank you very much.
It's the ground running. My colleague or College of Health Sciences, Obafemi Awolowo University, in person of Professor Babatope Kolawole, to give his welcome address.
Thank you. The Vice Chancellor of Obafemi Awolowo University, Professor Adebayo Simeon Bamire, AP represented here this morning by the Deputy Vice Chancellor of Academic, Professor Olubola Babalala. Earlier this morning, we had met with the Vice Chancellor and sent his apologies. He asked to be out of the campus at this time. Immediate past Vice Chancellor, Professor Eyitope Ogunbodede, also a past provost. You are welcome, sir. Let's give him a round of applause. Very supportive. 2023 Distinguished Grillo Lecturer and Vice Chancellor, unimedondo, Professor Adesegun Fatusi. The Deputy Provost, College of Health Sciences, Professor Bamishe, Cornelius Bamishe, immediate past provost and other past provosts who are here, principal officers of the university, the chairman, committee of deans and deans, faculty of clinical sciences, Professor Dayo Showande, and other deans, they are present. Chairman or chairperson, global alumni, person of Professor Adedoyi. I also saw here this morning the global chair of our nursing alumni, Professor Tijani. Professor Tijani, where are you? Professor Tijani, you are welcome, sir, all the way from Foye. Yesterday, I got a message that you are in Abuja. Thank you for joining us, being able to join us. Other professors in the college, heads of department, distinguished members of the 1987 medical and dental graduating class who have been so recognized. I'm also delighted to know that the spouse of the guest lecturer today, that is Professor Mipatusi, is also a member of that class. You are welcome and recognized, all our alumni, both senior to that class and those coming after, you are all warmly recognized. Staff, students of the College of Health Sciences, ladies and gentlemen, it is a pleasure to welcome us to the 2023 Professor T. Adesonya Grillo lecture. The annual Grillo lecture is held in the last week of May to commemorate the commencement of health professions education training at the then University of Ife, now Obafemi Awolowo University. It will be recalled that the college celebrated with fanfare the 50th anniversary of our existence all through 2022. One of the distinctive hallmarks of that event was the launching of a book, a compendium on the history of our college in the past 50 years. This book, graciously put together by our own Professor Dr. Buwede, has also been brought here today for those who are interested in acquiring a copy. I will indeed urge all our alumni, friends of the college, not to leave this place without getting their own copy. Can I implore once more on behalf of the college to appreciate Professor Buwede, who did this for us without any charge. Thank you, sir. The Grillo lecture series, being held for the 15th time this year, has come of age and accrued enough history of its own that is worthy of telling. Grillo lecturers have been distinguished alumni who have made their mark in various spheres of human endeavor, spanning the academia, industry, politics, and the corporate world. Matters arising from discussions around Grillo lecture themes have shaped opinion and thinking in the college and perhaps the university as a whole. I therefore appreciate and applaud all past Grillo lecturers for generating thought-provoking ideas and well-thought-out themes which have continued to endure and sundry to the lecture series. The lecture for 2023 is titled Transforming Health Professions Education in Nigeria, Ancient Landmarks, New Frontiers, and the Road Ahead. The title itself reveals the sagacity and astuteness of the lecturer, Professor Adeshegun, Vice Chancellor, the University of Medical Sciences, Ondo, a distinguished and proud alumnus of our great College of Health Sciences. Health professions education in Nigeria is at crossroads indeed. Stakeholders, including regulatory bodies, such as the Nigerian Universities Commission, Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria, Nursing and Midwifery Council of Nigeria, and the Medical Rehabilitation Therapies Board of Nigeria, and all the like, seem not to agree on the best way forward. Amidst conflicting pronouncements on curricula and issues like that, today's lecture will be addressing the past, present, and future of health professions education in Nigeria from the perspective of one who has seen it all. Every minute spent here today is definitely time well spent. I welcome our alumni from far and near who have come to honor the legacy of our founding fathers today. In particular, I thank the members of the 1987 graduating class who have turned out in their numbers in solidarity with the lecturer. I thank you, our alumni, for your steadfast and unwavering support for the college. You are a model in giving back. I assure you that we shall continue to manage resources you make available to us prudently and responsibly. I thank our staff and students without whom today's event would not avail. I thank the authorities of the Obafemi Awolowo University and the University Teaching Hospital for creating the enabling environment for us to thrive and for accommodating our peculiarities. I'm grateful to the chairperson and members of the College Alumni Relations Committee who work tirelessly to ensure that we can gather this morning. Not the least, I thank members of the Grillo family for their support all the time for this event. Once more, you are all welcome, and at the end of the event today, I wish us all a safe journey back home. God bless.
Thank you very much, sir. Another round of applause for the Provost, Professor Babatope Kolawole, for making it very brief, but it covered matters arising. Next on the list will be the Chairman's opening address. But before I do that, I've been implored to bring to the high table the President of the Nursing Alumni Association, Professor Tijani. Professor Tijani, you are welcome, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Well, welcome with me the representative of the Vice Chancellor, who is a DVC academic, to this microphone to represent the chairman for his opening address. Jam your hands together for the Vice Chancellor. You are welcome, ma'am.
On behalf of the Vice Chancellor, Professor Adebayo, I want to welcome everybody to this meeting. And by way of protocol, I welcome our guest lecturer, our home Professor Michelle Mufat, the Vice Chancellor of the University of Medical Sciences on those days. You are welcome, sir. And thanks for coming all the time. In fact, there was a time I thought that it's out today. Just going to you are coming back every day, because any time you see me, we appreciate you, sir. Thank you. The immediate Vice Chancellor, Professor TH25052023. Thank you, sir, for showing us that we look to the out of office. You can see the glory of God getting from the light. I shall continue. That's a prayer for you. Because the legacy you leave behind is not to keep speaking and to continue to speak. You can all speak. Thank you, sir, for being here. The Provost of the College of Health Sciences, Professor Kolawole, we appreciate all that you have been doing for the building of the foundation that has been made in the college. Because the foundation is firm already. And we are improving on it. And it's the prayer of any predecessor in office that whosoever succeeding on her, she will improve on what he or she has done. And you have put to us this side that you are more than able, because you have been doing that. We appreciate you and we want more of that. The Deputy Provost of the college, Professor Bani Shea, I don't want to make that mistake of Bani Shea. Thanks for your support to the provost. All the past provosts that are here, I can see Professor Ijaniola, I can see Professor Ubode, the past provost. Thank you, sir, for standing by us. All the deans in the faculty, in the college, we have the Dean of Basic Medical Sciences. Thank you, sir, Professor Salawu. We have the Dean of Clinical, who is also the Dean of Deans. Chairman of 14 years. Well done, sir. And we is on record that should be the first person to be chairman of 42 of this from College of Health Sciences. So we are going to record. Thank you, sir, for all that you have been doing, for coordinating all the faculties for us. We appreciate you. The Dean of Faculty of Dentistry, Professor Kwon. Thank you wherever you are. We appreciate you, ma'am. The global president, I didn't know that Professor Adedoyin is the global president. So, is it just recent or he has been global president for ages? Well done, sir. So your stature is that of a presidential, yes, it's presidential. Thank you for coordinating all the alumni of the college. I need to say that the alumni of the College of Health Sciences are very, very helpful in many ways. If you go to that college, the buildings, I think, were renovated by the alumni maybe many years ago, and they have been donating. So it's like a kind of competition among all the various sects in the college. We thank you under the leadership of Professor Adedoni. Thank you, sir. And the chairman of the college alumni relations, that's Professor Makani. So what's a Makani? A woman can do better. So because she has been active in that office, we appreciate it. All the professors in the College of Health Sciences, thank you, sirs and ma'am. All the staff in the college, we appreciate the support we are giving to the provost and all the ladies there. The 1987 alumni set of Great Ife alumni of College of Health Sciences, we met this morning, we appreciate you, and we know you have been doing many things for the college. And for you to be here, we know that many good things will come out of your visit. Thanks for being present at this occasion. Great Ife students. Great Ife students. Great. So you are all welcome. It's good that you are here so that you can learn one of those things from the lecture. Gentlemen of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Vice Chancellor, I want to congratulate the provost, the staff and students of the College of Health Sciences on the occasion of the 15th annual Professor T. Adesoya Grillo lecture. The lecture series have become a rallying point for staff and students, past and present, to celebrate the personality behind the much acclaimed philosophy of health professions education. The late Professor Grillo's pioneering work in the then Faculty of Health Sciences has blossomed into a College of Health Sciences, which competes favorably well with peer institutions across the globe. The Obafemi Awolowo University, since the inception of our medical school in 1972, has made major contributions to the supply of highly trained medical graduates to the Nigerian health sector and beyond, not only in Nigeria. There is the need to continue to contribute to the solutions of the healthcare problems of Nigeria through continued training of medical manpower that understand the special circumstances of the Nigerian environment and can function effectively and efficiently as core health care providers in the Nigerian setting. Because the theme of this program is transforming health profession education in Nigeria. So the focus is in Nigeria. Then we know that our alumni and the training we give here go beyond Nigeria. It cuts across, in fact, every nation of the continent. We know that Nigeria is filled with enormous health challenges, as exemplified by very poor health indices. We all know that. The country has one of the highest maternal mortality ratios in the world, which is very sad. The country has very high infant and under 5 mortality rates, one of the world's highest HIV/AIDS prevalence, a very high rate of infectious diseases and communicable diseases with poor health infrastructure. In fact, the way people, are run out of the country for health issue is very alarming. And that shows that the health infrastructure in Nigeria is very poor. In addition to all this, neoplastic and metabolic endocrinological disorders are on the increase. In all, as the most developing countries that is a high disease burden, the primary focus of the college, therefore, is to train health personnel who can effectively contribute to the management of these health-related problems. The 2023 Grillo lecture could not have been more timely. Neither could there have been a more appropriate lecturer than our own Professor
Addition Pharmacy. Now, Addition Pharmacy is an internationally acclaimed public health physician, seasoned university administrator, and a scholar par excellence. We are sure that it's going to do justice to the name of the lecture. I therefore implore everyone to pay attention. And I want us to note that the university takes College of Health Sciences in high esteem. And we are trying our best to place the college, among the highly recognized institutions or colleges in the whole world. And I make bold to say that our faculty of dentistry is one of the best 200 faculties of dentistry in the whole world. So the university has been able to start the construction of a urology unit. That one will be used by our students, and it's situated in the College of Health Sciences, so that we have state-of-the-art modern equipment that will be installed there. And I'm sure you have seen the construction that started, courtesy of our immediate past Vice Chancellor. So the project, I won't tell you how much it costs because I'm a quantity surveyor, but it's something good, and I'm sure it's going to be the best in Nigeria. We also have the construction of medical library at the College of Health Sciences, the OAPCAC. That one is part of what the university is doing for the college. The dentistry faculty too, they are doing renovation of them. Even the buildings that the College of Health Sciences is occupying now, we are done a kind of renovation for one part, and the other part will soon start. The renovation will soon start. So it's like we are not so lacking in our own responsibility to the college, and we are always ready anytime we take the kids. We are there, and we also depend on our alumni worldwide to assist more than we have been doing in the past. So on behalf of the Vice Chancellor, I join the college in welcoming all our guests who have come to grace this occasion. Long live the Obafemi Awolowo University Ileife, long live the College of Health Sciences, long live the Grillo lecture series. So on behalf of the Vice Chancellor, I declare the lecture open. Thank you very much.
Another round of applause for Professor Babalola. Thank you very much, ma'am, for that wonderful speech and for declaring this open. She made a germane point while making a speech on behalf of the Vice Chancellor that the health system in Nigeria is deemed to have been dilapidated. Unfortunately, whether so or not, now that the big guys in Nigeria, quote and unquote, maybe even participated or not in the dilapidation of the health sector in Nigeria, have decided to run abroad to seek health care. The people in UK, US, and all those places have also decided to import the well-trained Nigerian doctors to come and take care of them over there. Jam your hands together for this institution where you think. The university has produced a lot of big men who are doing well both home and abroad, and we still keep trying to offer the best. I want to recognize this group of people who came in the company of Professor Fatusi, the Vice Chancellor of the University of Medical Sciences, Ondo City, Nigeria. I'll quickly run through the list. I have on my list Professor Nireti Dui, Professor Esosa, Dr. Lee Shadewa Osho, who is an alumnus, Dr. Lanji, Dr. Kadi Adepoju, who is also a own, Dr. Morenika Akilosotu, an alumnus, Mrs. Nike Oyenei, Mrs. Bola Aroshegbe, Dr. Molasho, Professor K.O. Osingbade, Dr. Aki, Mrs. Awopeju, Ms. Patience, and Mr. Obamui Olorunshogo. Please jam your hands together for all these wonderful people who came in the company of our guest speaker today. Over to you, Bola.
I'm sure a lot of us in the auditorium never met Professor T.H25052023, but we've heard of his good work. and his contribution to the College of Health Sciences. It's my pleasure to invite the Vice Dean, Faculty of Basic Medical Sciences, and person of Dr. Ayode Odukoya, to give the citation of Professor T.I. Grillo.
Thank you very much. Distinguished Vice Chancellor, represented by the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Academies. Please permit me to stand on the existing protocol this morning as I read the citation on late Emeritus Professor T. Adesonya Ige Grillo. Thomas Adesonya Ige Grillo was born in Lagos on the 29th January 1927 to the illustrious Grillo family of Baje Aino, Osaoba, and V. Adenike Owalara Serrano Grillo. He attended the Baptist Academy Lagos for his primary education and the Okwada Training Institute Calabar for his secondary education, where he was the school organist, the head boy of the school, a house captain, and captain of the school athletic team. From there, he proceeded to Norwich City College, Norfolk, England. He trained at the Royal College of Surgeons in Ireland, where he obtained the licentiate diploma of the Royal Colleges of Ireland in 1955. But before graduating in 1955, he also read public administration at the Trinity College, Dublin, 1952 to 1954. He also obtained a Bachelor of Arts, Master of Arts, and Doctor of Philosophy at St. John's College, Cambridge, England, 1960. Doctor of Science, Trinity College, Dublin, 1972. Doctor of Medicine, University College, Dublin, 1993. What a man. He began his academic career as a lecturer in the Department of Anatomy, St. Mary's Hospital and Medical School, University of London, 1960, and subsequently he was appointed as an assistant professor at the Department of Anatomy and Pediatrics, Stanford University Medical School, 1961. He returned home to the University of Ibadan in 1961 as a lecturer and rose to become the first Nigerian professor of anatomy in 1966. Thank you. He also served as the assistant dean, University of Ibadan, 1962 to 1964. He was in Ibadan as a professor of anatomy when he answered the call to establish the medical school in the then University of Ife. Between 1962 and 1972, when he arrived in Ibadan, and before he moved over to Ile-Ife, he was a visiting professor, University of Khartoum, 1969, as well as a research associate at Mount Sinai Hospital, Michigan, United States of America, 1962 to 1965. In 1972, he became the Foundation Dean, Foundation Professor, and the head of the Division of Human Biology and Behavior of the Faculty of Health Sciences, University of Ife. He served sagaciously and with distinction as the Foundation Dean of the new Faculty of Health Sciences, University of Ife from 1972 to 1976. He was the WHO visiting scientist to the International Institute of Cellular and Molecular Biology, 1977 to 1978. He was professor and principal, College of Medicine, Sierra Leone, 1988 to 1992. Fellow, Churchill College, Cambridge, England, 1992 to 1994. Professor Emeritus of Bafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, Nigeria. Consultant Pathologist, Ife University Teaching Hospital, Nigeria, 1975 to 1984. Consultant, World Health Organization, Africa, 1973 to 1986. He won many awards at both undergraduate and postgraduate levels. His research focus was in developmental biology, placentology, tumors, virology, electron microscopy, fetal endocrinology, histochemistry, enzymology, diabetes, tissue culture, and radioimmunoassay, and his works were published in an array of reputable reviewed journals. He served as external examiner for MBBS and postgraduate examinations at many universities in Nigeria, Uganda, Kenya, Zambia, Jamaica, Tanzania, and Congo, Brazzaville, and was guest lecturer at more than 50 universities in the USA, Europe, Japan, Singapore, and the West Indies, and so on and so forth. Please, will you please give a round of applause? Thank you. He also supervised many students who have distinguished themselves in their various fields. He was a consultant for the WHO to several countries. He was a prolific writer with over 110 scientific publications in scholastic journals, both local and international. He was a musician, a painter, and lover of journals, and lover of nature. He was honored with the chieftaincy title, the Bashable of Elisha, in 1981. Thank you. At death, he did not leave behind mansions, places, nor billions of nairas. Grillo was a man of science, wisdom, and knowledge. What Grillo left behind cannot be bought with money. He left behind ideas, wisdom, knowledge, and integrity, which will continue to grow and reverberate eternally. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, ladies and gentlemen, please, I present posthumously to you a great teacher and mentor, a mentor of mentors, an erudite scholar of international repute, a distinguished academic, a pioneer in many areas of science, a man of many parts, a pianist, a painter, the first Nigerian professor of anatomy, the late emeritus Professor Thomas Adesoya Ige. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that presentation, Dr. Ayodeji Budukoya. With the kind permission of the Vice Chancellor, we'll move straight to the citation of the distinguished speaker for today's lecture, who is no other person than Professor Adesegun Fatusi, the Vice Chancellor, University of Medical Sciences, Ondo City, Ondo State, Nigeria. To do that will be our own Dr. Leye Adeomi. Dr. Leye Adeomi, jam your hands together for him and take over the microphone for him and does justice to the citation of Professor Adesegun Fatusi.
Thank you, MC. Please permit me to stand on the existing protocol. I'm presenting to you a Nigerian professor of community medicine and public health who has served in leadership positions within the academia, international development setting, and the civil society for over 2 decades. He is currently, he is the Vice Chancellor of Nigeria's first specialized medical and health tertiary educational institution, the University of Medical Sciences, UNIMED, in Ondo State. He was a Director of International Research with the Guttmacher Institute in New York before his appointment to UNIMED. He was also a former provost of our own College of Health Sciences here at Obafemi Awolowo University. Also, he served as the Director of the Institute of Public Health, Director of Population and Reproductive Health Program, and Head of Department, also here at Obafemi Awolowo University in the Department of Community Health. He was also the President of the Global Alumni Association of Nigeria, of the College of Health Sciences, OAU, from 2017 to 2021. He has been an honorary consultant with OAU Teaching Hospital Complex since 2004 and served as head of its community health department from 2004 in August to July 2007. He previously worked as the technical advisor with the United Nations Population Fund in Nigeria from 1996 to 2001 and has served as consultant to several agencies, including the World Health Organization, UNFPA, UNICEF, UNAIDS, World Bank, DFID, and USAID. He has served as a temporary advisor to the World Health Organization headquarters on several occasions, pertaining especially to adolescent health issues. He is currently a member of the Reproductive, Maternal, Newborn, Child, and Adolescent Health Technical Advisory Group for the African Regional Office of the World Health Organization. He is also a member of the Lancet Commission on Adolescent Health, the Vice President for Sub-Saharan Africa for the International Association of Adolescent Health, and the Chair of the Advisory Board of the Multi-Country Global Early Adolescent Study, which is coordinated by Johns Hopkins School of Public Health. He has also previously served on the governing board of the National University Commission, as well as the management board of Obafemi Awolowo University Teaching Hospital Complex. He has initiated and led several academic partnerships, including those involving ONU and the following institutions and organizations. They include Bill and Melinda Gates Institute, Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health, London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine, some USAID implementing partners like the Measure Evaluation, the Management Sciences for Health, and John Snow Incorporated. Also the United Nations agencies like UNFPA, UNICEF, and the World Health Organization, and also the West African Infectious Disease Institute, just to mention a few. Let's put our hands together. He was one of the co-initiators and foundation facilitators for the annual short course on adolescent health in low and middle income countries, which was hosted and supported by the World Health Organization headquarters. He initiated and served as the pioneer course director of the Adolescent Health in Sub-Saharan Africa short course, which was hosted by our own ONU in Papa and beyond. Among others, he has served as the chair of Nigeria's National Technical Working Group on Adolescent Health and Development since 2006. He has also served as the lead consultant for the development of the several national policy and program documents on adolescent health, including the National Policy on Health and Development of Adolescents and Young Persons, National Strategic Plan on Health and Development of Adolescents and Young Persons, National Action Plan for Advancing the Health of Adolescents in Nigeria, National Adolescent Training Manuals, National Guidelines for the Integration of Adolescents and Youth-Friendly Services into primary healthcare facilities, National Guidelines on promoting access of young persons to adolescent and youth-friendly services in primary care facilities, and the National Standards and Minimum Service Package for adolescent and youth-friendly health services. He has led the development of the following sexual, maternal, and reproductive health policy documents: National Policy on HIV/AIDS between 2010 to 2015, Revised National Reproductive Health Policy, National Strategic Framework on HIV/AIDS, Integrated National Reproductive, Maternal, Child, and Adolescent Health. He was a member of the expert study that developed Nigeria's health sector reform program in 2004. The extant National Policy on Population for Sustainable Development, and the 2016 National Health Policy. He graduated from Obafemi Awolowo University in 1987 with a Bachelor of Medicine, a Bachelor of Surgery degree, and with distinction in no other subject than community health. He was awarded the Lawrence Omani Award for the best graduate student in community health. He won the Federal Government of Nigeria Award for the best candidate in Part 1 examination of the Faculty of Public Health, National Polytechnic College of Nigeria. He also earned his Master's of Public Health degree from the Hebrew University at Gaza in Israel in 1995. And won the award for the best graduate student then in Israel. He obtained the fellowship of the West African College of Physicians in Community Health in October 1995. He also has a PhD degree in public health from the University of Ibadan in Nigeria. He previously served as training coordinator of the Faculty of Community Health of the West African College of Physicians and a member of the Strategic Plan Implementation Committee for the college. He was a Packard Gates Population Leadership Fellow at the University of Washington in Seattle, USA in 2001-2002, and a visiting scholar at the Bill and Melinda Gates Institute for Population and Reproductive Health, Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health in USA in 2007. Ladies and gentlemen, please presenting to you our own alumnus, no other than Professor and Bishop of
the chairman of the institution, my brother and friend, Professor our Vice Chancellor. April represented here this morning. Me with the Vice Chancellor, Professor Bola Abarola. The Provost of our college, Professor Kolawole. Let me take your indulgence to adopt the protocol that has been well made. But just before I go to this lecture, I'd like to especially recognize our immediate past Vice Chancellor of our university, Professor Okumodede, and to congratulate our college on the 50th anniversary last year, and to particularly congratulate him for putting together that excellent book on the history of our university. I also want to quickly recognize my colleagues. This engagement is a great pleasure for me to be here this morning, and I sincerely appreciate the opportunity I have to be here. And as I said, I'll be talking on the topic, transforming health professional education in Nigeria, Asian and past, new frontiers, and the road ahead. I'd like to start by appreciating the college for the opportunity I've been given to speak on this platform. When I got the invitation to speak, I said to myself, I said, I hope somebody is not counting me as not one of the who are taking over. For all purposes, I am totally still a homeboy. I belong to the community. I'm missionary assignment, and I do come back very soon after the missionary assignment. I would like to, on a more serious note, thank the college leadership under our Provost, and I'd like to recognize and thank the work and the members of the college organization, as well as the leadership of the global alumni under the leadership of my dear friend, Dr. Adede. I also want to very specially recognize all members of my class, those who are here, those who are online, and those who are not here but have sent good messages and are connected with us. Last night we had a great time, just gisting about life and just enjoying ourselves. But in a very special way, I'd like to thank our class coordinator, my friend and brother, Dr. Benny Kuti, and Chief Mod, that was for the Chief Moderator, Dr. Nyola Show, was one that set up the WhatsApp group that connected us. I want to also recognize very specially my friend, brother, and co-libra in development work in our hometown, but in the state. Dr. Sayara, I know I come all the way from the US 2 days ago, just to give you the testimony. So I was here 1 month ago for medical mission. I guess it's something we're going to return. Let me take our LOC, the team who are on ground, particularly what I'm between Mr. Osam and Francis for the work we've done. And those of our classmates who are presented to program last night, discussion about it, and this is what you do. I want to you is a very close friend to all, and fact, and the membership of our class. Lastly, before I go to the lecture, I want to thank my Unimed family, and I'm glad that they're here this morning. In Unimed, I found a home. I found lovely friends, wonderful partners, great money. I just really enjoy the privilege of being part of the Unimed family. Thank you. This morning, I'm going to be talking on the topic I've mentioned, but I was saying to myself, when old boys and old girls meet, they don't give lecture. What they do is they tell stories. And these are no boys meeting. So permit me, I'm going to start with telling stories. And after those stories, I will then go into the substantive matter of the day, talking about the ancient landmarks, effect philosophy, and the new age of epoch education. The second section will focus on the issue of new frontiers, the hopes and heights of specialized medical universities. And I will conclude on the issue of the road ahead, confronting challenge, and gaining momentum. Alright, let me start with this. I like this quotation that comes from the book of Apocrypha. Let us now praise famous men and our fathers that began us. And here talking about Professor Grillo, and I said at all, because there are many men on this land at that point in time. And I believe that for those on my side, we can have self-privilege that we encounter giants in our time. I'm not going to talk about Grillo again, because it describes Grillo. But this what came to my mind as I was thinking about Grillo. Many people hear Grillo by the hearing of ears, but it's just so to me that that's which we have asked, which we have seen with our eyes, which we have looked at and our hand have touched. Our self experience of Dr. Grillo in flesh and blood. And for many students, the fear of Grillo was the beginning. How will you go? Interestingly, Grillo was not a monster. If I particularly selected this photograph, which was taken about 1975, when he was a mid student in an occasion with Fusa. He was a very enchanting, witty, well-cultured gentleman. Adorable teacher, passionate scientist, academic giant. He was also an innovator and I did it with great foresight. Talented musician as a fact, accomplished athlete. But his clear feat was that he was an intellectual non-linear. And he was a proud scholar. And people will sometimes say he had difficult partners, but was a wonderful, wonderful lecturer. This was the description that Adeloye gave in 2004 when he spoke about Grillo. And he said Grillo ushered in a new era in human anatomy in Ibadan and indeed in Nigeria. His record as a research scientist, particularly in anatomy, will be hard to equal. He remains an everlasting philosopher of basic medical research in Africa. He also recorded that Grillo developed one of the best medical curricula in Africa, and that is talking about the IFE curriculum. We have the privilege of also enjoying learning at the feet of his dear wife, gentle Jamaican woman, Professor Dorothy Gilliam Pastor Grillo, who was a deputy teacher who passed on at the age of 88 in 2020 at the University of Benin, where she was an emeritus professor. Many of us recall she was with us many occasions, and this picture was taken on one of those occasions, 2017, when she was critical with us in this hall. But there are so many giants in our time, and I've picked out a few that I quite remember, some of my favorites, starting from the very brilliant, articulate Professor Michael Akintayo, the second ever dean, the beautiful, brilliant Dorothy Bamudola, the Prime Minister And that gentleman, young party, I'm not sure many people forget in my class. It is pattern there, full of stories about great things he was doing in the surgical room. Of course, the headmaster was in his own class. Professor Yemon knows everybody. He knows your name. In fact, he probably knows your village. His name will tell you, be shocked. So, Femi Shoyinka, doyen of dermatology, to the working encyclopedia of morbid anatomy, Professor Williams. Other time will come to class back the book. You ask what's the topic for today, you tell him and just talk. That's what it's there. And of course, we have the fearless Professor Antonio Luaribabu as a surgeon. And one person that many people not recognize there was Dr. Tenyola, the gastroenterologist in Elisha. He particularly encouraged me. He almost made me an independence. Thank God I went upon this here. Ladies and gentlemen, let me also pay special tribute to a few people that are very dear to me because of the role they played. I had the privilege of doing my BSc project under Professor T.B. Okuni. This picture was taken with the BSc. I just always remember the great time I had with him. Working on plants, I was working on Plasmodium babies. We were infecting mice with parasites. I was extracting Dongoyaro to try and cure it. It was an exciting time. And I was working with Professor Nijoba in his laboratory there. We had the privilege of having Baba Bayomi, without whom I would not have had the privilege of doing residency in Ife. Without the likes of Professor Joffrey Timi, I would never have gotten a job in Ife. He and Professor Adewi facilitated my getting a job here. But when I came back to the university, 6 years after becoming finishing my residency, the last thing in my mind was to get into leadership. I only want to focus on my research because I won't be away from CVR. I need to catch up. But two people pushed me on to leadership agenda. The first person was Professor Makoyola, who appointed me to be head of the department less than 2 years of becoming a staff. And late Professor Solomon Okuni was very instrumental to my becoming director of the Ministry of Public Health and encouraged me to go on to become the provost. Let me say that indeed we have great heroes, and I think it is just apt that for those who have gone on, we stand for 1 minute in memory of them. Please, let's rise. May their gentles to continue to rest in peace. And for those who are alive, may God continue to strengthen them. Thank you. I would like to start my story by my life in Ife, and I call it Great Ife and the Privilege of Youthful Exploration. As a student, when I joined Ife, I lived a very full life, a very unusual life for a medical student. I belong to not less than 7 clubs, head position not less than 12 positions. I started my year 1 being a permanent drinker. That's what brought me to Ife actually. I came from my school where I was studying there for generation in Ife. And I was so awed by the beauty of Ife that I said if I would go to a university, it has to be Ife. I was a commander in manual war. I was in PRO in Steppers Club, that's boys and girls village. I was an alpha mayor. I was a full-staff treasurer, PRO. I was editor-in-chief. For me, class was boring, particularly because teachers of those days like to dictate notes, and my writing is very interesting. And when I write under pressure, I can't even read. So there's no point coming to class for half of time, but that is very full life, because we are living on campus and it was this life. But one of the things I took away, as I reflected back, was that those experiences actually were a platform for nurturing me, to learn around emotional intelligence, about relationship, about leadership. And so I'm so grateful to Ife for the privilege I have to learn from here. Like I said, my residence life and professional life found a full expression in what Ife. These are two of my favorite places. The amphitheater, where we used to watch film and drama, and the big theater, where I'm always there to watch great plays in Ife. But as I look back, I had two major points that I can call my greatest gain in Ife. The first was my encounter with Christ in December 1986, when I became born again, and then I joined the medical students fellowship. The second one was the Ifunsa election of 1983. I started to wonder what would it be in an election that would be so fascinating. I'll tell you. The tradition in our time was that the position of VP was reserved for the Air Force students. And that year, Sojaji, brilliant, well known for his brilliance, had come out to contest the election. And one young girl in my class came up to challenge me. And because I had been in political talk before, I was treasurer before, I was an official consultant to my classmates. And we went on that battle, and we lost that election. It was very close. We lost the election, but something interesting happened. We won the war, even though we lost the battle. On one hand, that election announced the political activities and prowess of the young girl in my class. She went on to become the president of Ife University Dental Association, and to become the national president for dental students in Nigeria. But I'm giving a greater view for me. Beyond what I want to say, and I want to ask the man a couple of years ago. 40 years after the election, 40 years after the election, we are still going stronger together. So part of the lecture, as we think about Grillo and talk about Grillo, one of the things that I keep on reminding myself is that Grillo epitomize vision, innovation, commitment, drive and excellence. And every year as we come together, that's what we want to celebrate. In a society where values are getting developed, in a society where people don't seem to appreciate values, this is what we are all appreciate and celebrate as basic development. Excellence, vision, innovation, and drive. I would like to go to the first part of the lecture, the ancient landmarks, Ife philosophy, the new age medical. And to start that, just to see program short time, the topic we have in Nigeria, the knowledge one. If there was not involved with us as a group, yeah, so far about 92 years of medical students in Nigeria. Starting from the medical, that is a program to train medical assistants and to train pharmacists. Before this stage, CIE and then the rest of them. However, they want to take the curriculum. If you want to class as well, the planning the establishment of people was a story in Kenya in planning and development. And two great things. However, I'm actually, even those that do actually will not train for the parties. The anti-commission had recommended 3 universities, but did not want it yet. Yet, I guess the Western government, Western region, seem to have created because that's a public educational sector. This is primary education. It was also people around self-centered between the couple of years. So, Western region needed how they develop a place that has so much space where you have everything that you need in the place. This is the same plan actually many years after. Alright. So this is the plan of justice. I doubt if 10 people in this room had ever seen what the plan of the Epical Hospital Ife was supposed to be. I was listening to Wale yesterday talking about heliport. This place has an heliport designed for it as far back as the 70s. This was a great plan that was going to be the Epical Hospital of Ife. Unfortunately, it never happened. When people blame Grillo for his not happening, but just to give a little bit more idea about what this Epical Hospital has been, and I'm quoting the faculty book. He said, apart from first-class trauma research and service, the Epical Hospital will feature special services and research in neurosurgery and neurology, cardiothoracic medicine and surgery, pediatric medicine and surgery, plastic surgery and dermatology, otolaryngology, cancer research and therapy, including radiotherapy, nuclear medicine, transfer surgery, renal dialysis. This was in 1972. That people are thinking the way they were thinking. So, why was this the plan? People, like I said, people have blamed Grillo that if he had gone to focus on the hospital early, the Western state government will have funded it. That is not true. Like I said to you, even the medical school could not come on in the first 10 years because there was financial challenge. In fact, they found it so difficult to fund this university. It was simply a matter of determination that the Western state government decided was going to go on funding. But let's look at 3 dimensions that define what we did and what our forefathers did in terms of pyramidal approach. Number 1, the educational philosophy. If a philosophy was to train health workers where they will function, the kind of place they will function. So, right from the beginning, they want to train people out there in general hospitals in the primary care, so that when they finish, they can fit into those processes and fit into those locations, be they urban or be they rural. Second, socio-political context. The hospital was not going to be like this age. That was just separated from what was happening in town. It was supposed to be the ethical hospital within the network of what is happening in Western region. And finally, the Ministry of Health, to quote Professor Bankoni, did not provide any money for clinical facilities throughout the 10-15 years of the first years of this university. So it was so difficult that there was no any other approach than to be innovative and do a pyramidal approach in Ife. But interestingly, when you look at Ibadan, it even convinces you more of the logicality of what Ife found out. In a paper written by Emeritus Akindwe, he was talking about the Ibadan experience. It took Ibadan 8 years between when it started medical school and the UCH could be finished. And even at that time, 8 years after, UCH was not finished. UCH was only opened because Queen of England was coming to Nigeria and he opened it without it being completed. And people that went to Ibadan between 1948 and 1952 didn't have their training in Ibadan completely. They had to go to London to go and finish it. People went between 1953 and 1961, even though they finished in Ibadan, could not get Ibadan degree. Because all about it was about the University of London trying to accredit Ibadan UCH the way to award the degree. It was only those who went to Ibadan from 1962.
Trinka was in 1982 when the 7-year program was scrapped. And that 10-year period became the period when we started up our 6-year program as a college. The third decade was actually the decade of the formation of our university, our faculty becoming a college and the early years of the college. The fourth decade that had the first time alumnus will be elected as a provost, started with Olabode Balogun, and that passed on to Itako Ogunbodede, Solomon Ogunle, and that period became the period for kicking off the alumni movement and starting the engagement with alumni. And finally, we came to the last decade, which I had been privileged to be a part, Kayode Jajola and Baratope Kolawole, and hopefully we are rolling on to a new decade. Now, what is distinctive about Ife? I'm not going to go through the whole five period because of time, but I want to highlight a couple of things as we begin to think about the future. As we think about the first decade, what was clear was that our university and our faculty was meant to be something extraordinary within the landscape. It was a paradigm shift from what people had known about medical education in Nigeria. And this is what Emeritus Professor Adeola Adeluyi said. He said the new Dean, Professor Grillo, and his supporters felt that with 4 medical schools then in existence in Nigeria, the new way in Ife had to be radically different and should offer clear-cut advantages over the older sister school of medicine. Ife questioned many of what is identified as defects of traditional medical education pursued in Ibadan, Lagos, and Nsukka, defects which render the curriculum of the traditional faculties inadequate and ineffective. So we are inheritors of a radical adventure in medical education. This is what Professor Michael Akintayo Bankole said in 2012. He said, though Ife was the Nigeria's 5th medical school, the Ife faculty was the first to be conceived as a faculty of health sciences because its vision and mission was to train not only doctors, but also other members of the health professions, dentists, nurses, medical dietitians, medical laboratory scientists, and health scientists, and to encourage them to work together as a health team right from their undergraduate days. By the way, Grillo was not the one that named the faculty of sciences. It was a committee headed by Professor Fafua that said with the addition, with the package that you have, we should not be faculty of medicine, but faculty of sciences. And so that was the idea, to build a team together that will continue to work in partnership. So if you add for a philosophy that adds 4 primary pillars. 1, the team approach that I just talked about. 2, research training in undergraduate programs. I was in a meeting of West African Health Organization a couple of weeks ago, and there's an argument from the Francophone. Why would you have research in a BSc? I'm like, what? In 2023, far back in 1982-83, in my school, we were doing research as undergraduate students. And that was how foresighted our founders were. The third one was the application of the science of education in health professional education. And the last one was the use of a model of pyramidal network of health facilities in health training. People often reduce IFE agenda to 7-year program. No, the 7-year program was an operationalization. So it's possible to retain the philosophy and retain the tenets, even if you do a program that's not 7 years. But at any rate, we have the 7-year program, and those of us who are graduates of that program, we are forever grateful for having the opportunity to be that program. In the word of Vice Chancellor Oluwasomi in 1973, the new Faculty of Sciences, we trained 8 teams together, and I kept on, I'm repeating this because this is one thing that we need to go back to. Our health sector is so divided because we have not followed the path that our forefathers in this school left for us. To train health workers in the right proportion by providing a high-level common education in the medical sciences for 3 years. Let me talk about the aborted dream. As I have said, there are 4 pillars, but I think the pillar that has been most contentious and that have not been, in my opinion, interpreted correctly in historical terms is the one that has to do with the pyramidal use of the pyramidal network of facilities rather than building a teaching hospital at the beginning. The IFE philosophy had a pyramidal approach. I got this by the way. I'm sorry this didn't have the source, but I'm sure it has source in the what is printed. This came from Professor Bankole that he gave me about 12 years ago. It's passed on now. That the idea was there is this smooth connection from one level to the other. Much earlier than Nigeria ever thought of primary health care. Earlier than Nigeria ever thought of population-based approach. If you had thought about that, a pyramidal approach. And interestingly, if you're prepared for it, I am not sure how many people had ever seen a map that showed where the hospital was going to be. This map was prepared in the early 1970s. And as you could see, I'm not sure, it described where the Epica hospital was going to be. And they had a clear reason why they wanted it there. One of the reasons was that they didn't want to start fighting for land again. Having got the amount of land they got, so they wanted to upgrade the reason to start looking for extra land. The other reason why they wanted it here was because they have envisaged how they would develop a place that has so much space where you have everything that you need in the place. This is the same plan actually many years after. All right. So this is the plan of the hospital. I doubt if 10 people in this room had ever seen what the plan of the Epica Hospital was supposed to be. I was listening to Waliola yesterday talking about heliport. This place has an heliport designed for it as far back as the 70s. This was a great plan that was going to be the Epica Hospital of Ife. Unfortunately, it never happened. Many people blame Grillo for it's not happening. But just to give the faculty book, he said, apart from first-class trauma research and service, the Epica Hospital will feature special services and research in neurosurgery and neurology, cardiothoracic medicine and surgery, pediatric medicine and surgery, plastic surgery and dermatology, otolaryngology, cancer research and therapy, including radiotherapy, nuclear medicine, transfer surgery, renal dialysis. This was in 1972. That people are thinking the way they were thinking. So, why was this the plan? Like I said, people have blamed Grillo that if he had gone to focus on the hospital early, the Western state government will have funded it. That is not true. Like I said to you, even the first the medical school could not come on in the first 10 years because there was financial challenge. In fact, they found it so difficult to fund this university. It was simply a matter of determination that the Western State government decided was going to go on funding. But let's look at 3 dimensions that define what we did and what our forefathers did in terms of pyramidal approach. Number 1, the educational philosophy. If a philosophy was to train health workers where they will function, the kind of place they will function. So right from the beginning, they want to train people out there in general hospitals, in the primary care, so that when they finish, they can fit into those processes and fit into those locations, be they urban or be they rural. Secondly, socio-political context, the hospital was not going to be like UCH. That was just separated from what was happening in town. It was supposed to be the apical hospital within the network of what is happening in Western region. And finally, the Ministry of Health, to quote Dr. Professor Bankole, did not provide any money for clinical facility throughout the 10-15 years of the first years of this university. So it was so difficult that there was no any other approach than to be innovative and do a pyramidal-based approach in Ife. But interestingly, when you look at Ibadan, it even convinces you more of the logicality of what the Ife founders did. In a paper written by Emeritus Akinkuwe, he was talking about the Ibadan experience. It took Ibadan 8 years between when it started medical school and the UCH could be finished. And even at that time, 8 years after, UCH was not finished. UCH was only open because Queen of England was coming to Nigeria and he opened it without it being completed. And people that went to Ibadan between 1948 and 1952 didn't have their training in Ibadan completely. They had to go to London to go and finish it. People who went between 1953 and 1961, even though they finished in Ibadan, could not get Ibadan degree because all about it was about the University of London trying to accredit Ibadan UCH to be able to award the degree. It was only those who went to Ibadan from 1962 that actually had Ibadan degree. But if you could not afford that, they wanted to hit the ground running. And so the best approach is to use what they have to achieve what they need to achieve. Why did that dream die? 2 things, basically. Political will. The Ministry of Health was not committed. There was a struggle between them and the university. They wanted a place after the university. They didn't want a medical hospital in the university. And that was a part of the problem. And unfortunately, federal government, military government took over all the universities. And Ife was not a priority for them any longer. The second thing was what I call the multidimensional toxic political conflict. At every level, faculty, hospital, everywhere. There was so much politics that were destructive in nature. But the fact is that those politics also affected our universities, our faculty in a very bad way. And I think it must be a lesson we must take to heart. The stoppage of that of our 7-year program was basically out of politics, even though there's a report. But those reports also came from what people had presented. But interestingly, some of us know Professor Shogunuga when we were here. The BSc Environmental Health Program in Ife was the only kind of research in West Africa. And that funding came from everywhere. And the same politics, in fact, in the case of the 7-year program, what happened was they threw away the baby and the bathwater because they don't like the midwife. In the case of the BSc Environmental Health, they threw away the baby, the bathwater, and the pot that contained the water, they smashed it. Because the department that was running it, they merged it with another department. The visionary that was running the program had to leave the university. That was how bad Ife politics was in those days. But the question I ask myself is, have we learned? To the pride of this college, we have learned. Our college has operated in a fantastic way. We do election, we leave election, we go out, and we are still friends. But I wish the university will learn from us. And we can have a healthier environment for leadership in our university. If your philosophy dead, in the book you have in your hand, I describe it as an obanje because it seems to die but doesn't die. But why did he die to start if he tried to die? Let's assume he died. Adeniyi Jones, the foundation professor of community health in Ife, said this in his inaugural lecture. The Ife idea was a noble idea, born before his time. Bankole described it in a very interesting way. He said there were also many errors in the established medical school system who saw the life of the new baby. It is hardly surprising that with so many odds against it, the baby failed to thrive. However, it will appear that it did survive, albeit with a significant degree of brain damage that has altered its personnel beyond recognition, as well as a significant amount of undernutrition that caused its growth to be severely retarded. That was the description of Professor Bankole about what happened. Interestingly, a couple of years, many years after that, I had the privilege at that point in time to be the Secretary General of the Society for Public Health Professionals in Nigeria. And a report had just come out. The Lancet Commission on Medical Education published a report titled Health Professionals for a New Century, Transform Education to Strengthen Health System and Independent World. And two of the things they described were exactly what If Your Health philosophy was about. They were talking about interprofessional, transprofessional education that break down professional silos while enhancing collaborative and non-hierarchical relationships in an effective team. The Nigerian Academy of Science, a couple of months after that, convened a national meeting. I was lucky to be present, and the second meeting I was not able to present, and I called on my friend, Dr. Bredo Kuti, to go there to represent us. And they published a report, which you can find online, and they said this, I'm quoting, reference was made to an attempt at pioneering this in Nigeria. That's talking about what the Lancet Commission was talking about in 2020 something at the University of Ife. And they said we should review it for possible lessons that can be learned. That was the conclusion of the Nigerian Academy of Science and the stakeholders meeting on medical education. A couple of years after that, between 2012 and 2018, NUC actually tried to bring back what looked like Ife. Professor Ogunyi, later Ogunyi, and Professor Mufatusi, then the provost and the dean of dentistry, were part of the team that NUC asked to design a 7-year program. And when I was provost, NUC called a meeting, and they released this, what they call the new benchmark in 2015, and they gave options to all medical schools. They said, well, option number 1, you can have a 4-year program for those who have BSc. Option number 2, you can run a 7-year program. And then they gave the 6 years. And then they encouraged the leading universities, the first generation, to go 7 years informally. We in Ife decided we would go with the 7-year approach. And I remember we had a meeting on 19th October 2015, the College Academic Board. And our decision at that meeting was this, and I'm quoting from the College Academic Board record. After exhaustive deliberation on the benefit, if you are familiar with the language, it's always exhaustive deliberation. But I can tell you, the deliberation on this day was particularly exhaustive. After exhaustive deliberation on the benefits or otherwise of the different programs, the board unanimously agreed to the 7-year program. It was noted that such a program was originally initiated by Ife. The new 7-year program, as proposed by NUC, is modeled after the original Ife program. So we are willing to go that way. At that same board meeting, we took another decision on another pillar of Ife philosophy, the issue of the application of the science of education in health professional education, where we decided that the college will have a formal health professional education unit. What happened to those 2 decisions? Time will fail me to tell at this time. Hopefully there will be other times we tell the story of that day. Let me move on to the second part I want to talk about in the history of faith. I call it the age of Renaissance and the evolution of the college alumni movement. And I would like to quote Professor Akigbe. There was a statement he made in one of his writings that I really connected. He said, far from being egocentric, it is well to document development for historical reasons, for memories often seem short. And that's why, again, I want to applaud Professor Gumboede for the great job he has done in documenting. We need to document it. It's so important, so important. And I would like to start this history with the alumni movement. But what we are today and what I've enjoyed and what I'm enjoying has been a product of the alumni movement that happened. So how did we get here? What did we do? So that we can continue to do what we have done well, and we can avoid doing what we have not done well. So the story about this started with Professor Bode Balogun when he was appointed as the first alumni provost. He was the first person that initiated the alumni association, and he initiated the annual Grillo lecture. And Senator Mamora, we had the privilege of having him as our first lecturer. He passed on the baton to another alumnus, Professor Tokwe Boyeni, and I know that
tenure received the first major donation from alumni in terms of the poster board. That board is still on, interestingly, how many years after. And that party passed on to Professor Solomon Ogunleye, may his soul continue to rest in peace, who then used the 40th anniversary to become a history in our alumni affairs. So, we got to those periods, and 2 years in between, we didn't do Grillo lecture because something just went down. I don't want to talk about that. Interestingly, the first 4 lectures of alumni lectures were all by doctors. Of course, doctors from the largest group, but also most of the people known by the people were doctors, generally. So we have one more, we have a 2 politicians. We have a Konofua, we have a Kuni, 2 academicians. And then I was appointed as the chairman of the Alumni Relation Committee. And we were given the mandate to plan for the 40th anniversary. At that time, for 3 years, we have not done Grillo lecture. And we felt, no, let's do one Grillo lecture to rally people around. And that's the only Grillo lecture that we have ever done in September. Every other Grillo lecture happened in May, because we are going to use it as a history for the anniversary. I'm not a politician, I'm not a clinician, I come from public health. So I went to my national team. So I went out because one of our greatest alumni out there, Dr. Mike Ebo, who was a product of our environmental health program that was cancelled. Mike Ebo is one of the leading health system experts in this country. In the last 2 weeks, he just got an award from American president for the work he has done over the years in helping women and helping children to grow. So we have this alumni out there, and it was so magnanimous. He did that lecture for us. The year after, we didn't do Grillo lecture, not because we didn't want to do Grillo lecture, but that was the year of the anniversary. And so we are going to do a special anniversary lecture. And then the year after, we went to, again, public health people. Well, no, the senior health advisor, World Bank, was here to talk to us on Grillo. 2 fantastic alumni, 2 wonderful lectures. But after that, we decided that we needed to build a more cohesive approach. We needed a health team to maintain like our forefathers did to us. And we started there and there that Grillo lecture will become rotational. We rotate from one specialty to the other. And the 4 years between 2014 and 2017, when I was privileged to be the provost of the college, and James Samusa, one of my great sisters, happens to have been the Shama alumni relationship, we made sure that that policy is completed. We had Fola Shadu Bushola, now the Vice Chancellor of the University of Lagos, came as the first female ever to speak at our Grillo lecture. The second year, we had Modupe Adeniro as the first alumni nurse to have come to speak. The year after that, we brought in Alabafawale, the first dentist ever to speak on the platform of Grillo lecture, and the first one to have come all the way from the US. And we backed that up the year after by bringing Professor Felisada, the first therapist ever to have spoken on the platform. And I'm so glad that we have maintained that consistency, because we need to carry ourselves on as the LT thing. All right. And I think that the college 40th anniversary was our turning point. I think he had one level before me. The 40th anniversary was a fantastic. I think it's perhaps one of the most joyous occasions I've seen in our college. Every time I look at this, and I see people like Professor Nora Akiola dance, I'm like, wow, look at the dancing steps. It was such a great occasion that we had. And we had Professor Bankole to speak to us on our history. Let me pause and tell a little story so that we can just celebrate some unsung heroes. 2 people I like to talk about. When we were going to do the 40th anniversary, a few weeks before the time, we decided we want to do a college art and college scarf. The first in the history of the university, not just in the history of the college. Thank you. And we tried to talk to a few people. We didn't like the politics they were doing. We wanted to talk politics. So we went to Lagos and we got a company. I won't mention the company. British is a company, Nigerian branch of a British company, to produce the tag. And they agreed. We did the design and midway the back down for no reason. We had like two weeks or so to the meeting. So I called on 2 alumni. I did that for village in US and wrote to along that UK. And I said, find anybody to produce it at any price. We'll pay. The week of the alumni lecture of the 40th anniversary, those stars arrived in Nigeria. Those alumni paid for them, and they have to refund them many more later. So many alumni have been part of what we're enjoying today. Their names are not mentioned because we don't know. But I think that's always important to recognize those heroes and the great job we did for our college. Okay, let's move on from there. We did our first college research fair, and we had our first college week. We have not had another college week today. The college week was one week, brought all the faculties together to organize 1 week event. And are you okay? My team seems to be having a little problem. Are you fine? Okay. And finally, I think the turning point was what I call the Renaissance comment. And we have documented this experience for 4 years in what we call the shared vision, transforming the vision. Because truly, it was a time of shared vision. It was not a provost, it was not provost office, it was a college. And I'm saying this so that as we go forward, we must revive that spirit. It was a collective attempt to take our college forward, and our college attempt did go forward those 4 years. I have come to become provost with the promise those days. I asked for agenda, ABC. Some people will remember those elections of those days. And I called something building bridges. And this was my promise when I was going for election. I said, I will strengthen linkages with alumni groups worldwide. And that will seek their financial, material, and technical support. Mobilize support for snail water project in Asia, and enhance recreational facilities in Glory Land of State. We did everything we promised, we did and went there. So years by years, then we could not call the accreditation bodies to call. For 4 years, we couldn't call them because our facilities were in bad shape. This was the picture. Go to the next one. This was the picture of our facilities, our MDL2. That was the wall, that was the carpet. But alumni rallied around us and we transformed into what you see on the other side. Professor Kuni struggled courageously and renovated 1 lab. In 4 years, we renovated 5 labs and we turned them around by God's grace. And what happened, like I said, was the alumni made it to happen. These are pictures of what happened those days and how bad things were. We got inverters to some of the laboratories, we renovated basic and we did a lot more. One project I'd like to talk about particularly is the Joint Alumni Project. I think we must also revive the spirit of Joint Alumni Project. Our first Joint Alumni Project, there were 2 we had in my era. There were 2 Joint Alumni Projects we had. One was the Adeyemo Clinical School Center. I remember when we had the first check, how much was it now? 100,000. The VC was there to take a picture with our responsibility about those days. And alumni made it to happen. And so sometimes when the alumni say, we want to contribute, but we want to just do our own, I hear you. But sometimes we need to come together and have a college project that can move us forward. The second project we initiated was the clinical student hostel in West Asia. And as we are doing that, we also challenge university. And today, I'm sure good facilities are there and they are functioning. Thank you, alumni. You did well. In 2014, we decided we are going to broaden the dimension. And we started the preceptorship course. And we had the first set, second set, third set. Everyone that came from outside the country came paying their own ticket. We never paid ticket for anybody. That was the commitment the alumni showed to building our college those days. And I'm sure that has still continued to happen. I would like to probably show 2 more slides and move on from here. One of the things that I think for me is also important to remind us was that we had a platform that enabled everybody to connect with us. And that was what we call COPA those days. And those are the faces of some of the leaders of the COPA movement. They are all living different dimensions of COPA. And COPA was running so much training. We are running to big capacity of our staff. And I was saying to myself, infrastructure development is important, but it can never replace human development. And therefore, as a college, we must continue to emphasize that we must put attention to develop the capacity of our staff, particularly junior staff, younger academics, because we need to hand over the baton to them one day. So let's not just build facilities, let's build human beings is so critical to our future. Again, I'm so glad that the regime of Bartolo Kolawole had gone on with the issue of our alumni newsletter. Because it's also important that we communicate alumni. So I don't think that it's the day we need money that we're not around there. I probably from end this story, I've told the story of those two gentlemen. I'll tell you two other stories. The first time we went to UK when we were looking for money, I went with Professor Nora Akinola. She paid her way to UK. I paid my way to UK. When we were cutting the alumni in US, I paid my way to US. Rather than came within 1 year, she paid her way. That was the way we grew the alumni movement. Not the money of the college, but our own money. But personal money, personal commitment, and the alumni responded to us very warmly. And I think we must continue to nurture that movement and nurture those relationships we had had. One of the things I must celebrate is to celebrate my classmates. In the history of this college, there's no time that everybody in the college leadership had belonged to one set. It only happened in 1997. I was privileged to be the vice chancellor, to be the provost. Oladipo Ayọ̀rọ̀mọdé was deputy provost. Ebon Adekiwe was the dean of clinical. Lamu Fatusi was the dean of dentistry. Ruben Fajemile was the dean of basic. And then Samba was the chair of alumni group. And one of the things that happened was that we developed, for the first time in the history of the college, we developed a strategic plan. And I do hope that the college will go back to develop a strategic plan to move the college forward. Ladies and gentlemen, I've spoken a lot about alumni, but we are here because alumni are here. Lastly, we move on to developing the global alumni platform. And by God's grace, we got to register with TAC. So it's a corporate register body. And so you can pay to it, you can get tax deductions, and I was privileged to serve as the first player. And I'm so glad that we didn't make a medical doctor the second president. We fell on somebody else in another profession. That's the way we are taught to nurture ourselves as a team. Thank you, Mr. President, Aderoyi, for the good work you are doing. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me move on to the second part of my lecture, and I'm going to run very fast. The new frontier, the hope and the heights of specialized university. If there's something that has changed in the history of medical education in Nigeria, it is the appearance, the emergence of specialized universities. The University of Medical Sciences is proudly Nigeria's first specialized medical and health sciences university. And I always tell people they are the brand ambassador and are the leader of this new frontier in principle and in practice. Right now, there are 10 of those universities. And I always tell people, if you have not been successful, nobody will follow us. Interesting, everyone associated with Unimed came from Ife. The first vice chancellor for Sofonova was from Ife. The governor that started this Mimigo was from Ife. The county executive of that town was from Ife. All of them, it's a very good. So there are 10 universities of medicine in Nigeria now. But the question is, do we really need this one? What should we future be? Interestingly, it's not only medical school, specialized university that we are seeing. We have also seen emergence of colleges of nursing and midwifery, colleges of dental technology and therapy, college of laboratory technology, health science and medical imaging. I'm not imagining this. I'm telling you the bills that are in the Senate. And we have seen now University of Technology starting medical school, like it's happening in Akure, or University of Technology running specialized medical program, like it's happening with Futo Innovate. And these are the moments we are, the new frontier. What does this portend? In my opinion, I think I can best summarize my answer in the words of Charles Dickens. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. It was the age of wisdom, it was the age of foolishness. It was the epoch of belief, it was the epoch of incredulity. It was the season of light, it was the season of darkness. It was the season of hope, it was the winter of despair. That is where we are today in health education in Nigeria. And I will illustrate that very quickly in the next few minutes. I think that all around us, there is a new epidemic. It's called constitutional project institutions. And people argue and say, we need more doctors. I agree. We need more nurses. I agree. But the question we have not asked is, at what cost? And what the cost efficiency of starting a new university to produce doctors or nurses? And that's the question I will give it in a moment. The first question in my mind is this: what's the rationality of the federal government that has failed to adequately fund its existing universities and their medical schools, going ahead to establish any new university, specialized medical or otherwise? They are struggling with funding of what you have, and yet they are trying to establish them. What sense does it make? But the reality, as we think about it, imagine that each of the new schools got 5 billion. Imagine that that money, 15 billion, was shared at the cost of 2.5 billion for each of the 6 oldest medical schools. What our medical schools will cost? Or if you share 1 billion to 13 universities, they will produce doctors and nurses at a faster rate because they have money already. But now you have to start building a Senate house. You have to start looking for teachers that don't exist and all that and all that. So in a way, you must ask yourself those questions truly about where we are in Nigerian health sector. But people say the more the merrier. Maybe the more the mockier is what we should be talking about when it comes to university. Let me explain something to you perhaps that's not often clear to outsiders. The fact is this: Nigerian universities today run on the power of state funds, essentially. Because somebody will tell you that's what the only way is to get money to do anything. And when you establish a new federal university, what happens is there's an amount of money to be shared. The amount that comes to each university becomes lower automatically. So any new medical university or any new whatever university is a danger to existing universities. And that's why all of us must come to a conclusion about how and why we must stop this epidemic of universities. Interestingly, when you start a state university, it doesn't touch that money. Because even if you are 10 of you, they won't give one of you a year. But if the federal government establishes 10 universities in a year, all of them will get money. In fact, in state fund regulation, they are not supposed to give money to an institution that has not started on academic programs. But they give money to all new universities, even when they have not admitted any students. So, I said this, that there is danger ahead when you think about the issue of consensus projects. I am not going to read through this because of time. But let me bring part of this. The Punch editorial of 2060 said that these days, universities are in the communities of the head of the organization. This is absurd. End of quotation. But perhaps one of the most interesting stories I have found in this season of incredibility is the case of Don. I think it almost sounds like Don. A university that was started with public funds by a sitting governor who named it after himself and called it King David University. So that nobody will realize that it was going to be named after him. Shortly after, he named it King David University of Medical Sciences. And then the federal government that took it over. And they changed the name, and they announced it with so much fanfare. And they changed the name from King David University of Medical Sciences to David University what a change of name. To make the story more interesting, the Senate in April 2022 approved the establishment of 18 more University of Medical Sciences. And as of May 2023, the National Assembly has about 210 bills to establish new educational institutions, including 20 bills seeking to establish colleges of nursing and midwifery. And this was a very interesting comment that came by the judge. He said, the Senate again advanced its pension for mediocre intervention. It is passage of a bill authorizing the establishment of a federal university of medical science and biomedical technology in each of the country's geopolitical zones. How thoughtless. Come at the time when the country is close to bankruptcy and the government wants to pay salary, the approval is back. It is shameful that the Senate and the National Assembly have turned special institutions into political games. And that's what it is going to be when it comes to them as autonomy. Let me ask, so what sense does it make to have a new university of medical science? Do we really need one? My answer is threefold. Number one, establishing new medical university is not to be entered into advisedly or lightly, but reverently, discreetly, advantage and so value. I'm sure you are familiar with this word. With 50 funded federal universities, federal government of Nigeria has no business establishing any university of any sort. However, a few well thought out, well-funded, specialized medical universities with a clear understanding of their unique mission and direct pursuit of their mandate can still bring added and significant value to the Nigerian health professional education. I further ask the what does that mean? Let me say this. The greatest value of medical university is not to produce just more doctors. No. The greatest value, in my opinion, and I will read what I've put down. The greatest value that the specialized medical and health university brings to the Nigerian landscape is the potential to recognize and uphold the Asian landmarks and with a passion for excellence shall the path for a transformed future. And I think that two things we must recognize, the do's and the don'ts. The don'ts, they cannot afford to be for the follow. That's what Bella used to tell us. They cannot be for the follow university to just do what is doing or Ibadan is doing. No. And they cannot afford to be glorified college of medicine. What they must do is to address existing deficiencies that conventional universities are limited in addressing and to power new dreams in the area of health professional education. Is that possible? I think the answer is here. And I'm going to pray for indulgence in the next few minutes to do a case study of Nigerian first specialized medical university, University of Medical Sciences. And I think I can summarize that with it. Unique philosophy, strategic vision, and impactful action. That's what describes who we are in the health professional education landscape today. Our philosophy is to be a one-stop institution for all things medical and all things sciences. And already they are close to that. They have, for instance, courses, the largest number of courses on health sciences in the Nigerian university today. And yet they are 8 years old. They have three main approaches. Number one, to strategically identify and address key gaps in health professional education landscape. Number two, to creatively engage, enhance, and embrace global best practices. Number three, to purposefully build the sense of a connected, concerned, and caring community. We don't believe that a state university has existed for 8 years. There is no day of strike. No strike at all in our University of Medical Sciences. Our session runs October to June without any fee. And it's because there's a community that's connected to this same dream. You must get this university going. You must produce graduate on time. In terms of what we are doing, best practice. One of our best practices, for example, is every teacher in University of Medical Sciences is a teacher because he must undergo a training in health professional education before he starts. We have an online program that he must undergo. But I think one of our most strategic impacts is about identifying and addressing key gaps. And I will give you a indulgence to just illustrate that in a few slides. By the way, our mantra is excellence or nothing. Our operational philosophy is not the key agenda: transparency, efficiency, and accountability. That's the pillar on which we are built and the pillar on which we operate. Like I said at our last convocation, as Nigeria's first specialized medical and science university, we take our part-time role within Nigerian health professional education landscape very seriously. We wrote to JAM, to UNUC in 2022 about new courses we believe Nigerian university needs. 10 of those courses have now become part of what NUC approved in December 2022. That's what we think is the part-time role in Nigerian university. I know these are the courses. But let me move on because of time. Let me illustrate that deeper with an analysis. They have established Nigerian first faculty of medical rehabilitation in West Africa. One day, in an online chat in the College of Health Sciences or College Assembly, somebody asked me a question: what faculties do you have? And I said, Faculty of Medical Rehabilitation, Faculty of Nursing. And somebody replied, why don't they have Faculty of O and G and Pediatrics? I'm like, how can people be so ignorant? Because that's very clear of ignorance. And that is one of the problems that we have had in health professional education in Nigeria. We have focused a lot on medicine and nursing, but there are many other areas that are neglected. Because people just think, who are they and what are they doing? If you read the WHO document, you want report on that disability, you tell us that the growing needs in rehabilitative services is perhaps the greatest in the world, out of any field. And only 3% of people who are living in low and middle income countries are able to access rehabilitation services because they don't exist. There are no workers in that field. They have established a faculty of medical rehabilitation that has 4 departments: physiotherapy, occupational therapy, audiology and speech therapy, processing and orthotics, and there are 5 degree programs they are in. Nigeria, according to the current policy, has less than 5 clinical audiologists and 4 speech therapists in the entire country. So is there no rationale? Why would they run training program for 93 years of medical education and nobody is thinking you need to train audiologists or train speech pathologists? There are 10 universities running physiotherapy program in Nigeria. There are 400 institutions running nursing program in this country. 400, including 43 departments in university. There are 45 medical schools in our country, but only 10 people are running physiotherapy. And as you and I get older, we need physiotherapists more than anybody else. As you see all the injuries happening around us, we need physiotherapists more than anybody else. As you see communicable diseases, even when they're not communicable, we need physiotherapists more than anybody else. There are only 10 universities in Nigeria before Unimed. By the time Unimed came up, National University Commission does not even have a benchmark to design a program for audiology. That means no university can run a program. There is no benchmark for developing speech therapy in this country. Occupational therapy has been run in Ife for over 10 years. They have run it illegally because the truth is that there is no benchmark for it. We are meeting it under BSc, BMR, physiotherapy, BMR medical rehabilitation. But coming on of Unimed changed that story entirely. We developed templates for them, we lobbied them, and we provided resource persons to help them develop their orders. Processing and robotics only exists in one school in Nigeria, and it's not a medical school. It's Federal University of Tech in a way. We are taught there of one processing and robotics as a university in this country. We have also developed Nigerian first full-fledged school of public health in this country now. We have 7 PG programs, ranging from postgraduate diploma to MSc, MPH, MPh, PhD, Doctor of Public Health, Doctor of Community. Just mention it, because we feel that we need to make those things available for people to move on. And I'm glad to announce that we have a partnership with the African College of Surgeons. In October, we are starting our PhD in clinical sciences, PhD in surgery, PhD in medicine, PhD in laboratory sciences, and PhD in dental sciences. That is the niche that a specialized university can fill. What the computer university are not addressing, they have stepped into address that. Today they are running a Masters of Science in Health Law and Policy in 2nd year now. Lawyers, doctors are on our program, running Masters in Health Law and Policy. This is for me, is what I think is the advantage that a specialized medical university can have. Not to run a program like the College of Medicine, IFE, or College of Science, a 145 program. No, you need to expand your writing and need to power new trade. Let me conclude very soon. The road ahead, confront challenges and gain momentum. 5 things that we tell ourselves in the area of human resources in health. You need the right workers, with the right skills and attitudes, with the right number, working the right places, and doing the right thing. Now, what we need to do where we are in Nigeria? The WHO says that improving health service coverage and ensuring the right to the enjoyment of the highest attainable standard of health is dependent on the availability, accessibility, acceptability, and quality of the health workforce. However, what they did not say is that that is the lead, that is not the root. The root is the teacher. If you have teachers and you build their capacity, that's the root for building health workers. And therefore, to improve our field of health workforce, you must improve the quality and the quantity of health workers in Nigeria. And that's what I want to discuss in the next 2 minutes. How do we improve the quality of health workers in Nigeria? The NEC has done a good job in designing the system. However, I feel that the system falls short in some areas that medical school like IFE must focus on. The system talk about the 21st century skills that are needed. The measure communication, the measure leadership. But how do we design programs that will build the capacity of students in communication is missing there. How do we empower them in leadership competency beyond theory is absent. And I argue all the time that medicine is first and foremost a communication science. Because you see your patient, all you do is talk. If you don't talk to him, you don't know what is wrong. When you finish with him, you need to talk to him. Even if you want to collect your money as a private practitioner, you must ask for your bill. And that medicine is first and foremost communication science. And when we run medical schools and there are no communication programs to build their capacity, they are not positioning our students to function well in the 21st century. And I think there are areas that we must look at, Mr. Provost, to say how do we strengthen communication and leadership in our program. The whole issue about interprofessional education, we've talked about it in the last commission, that's where it started from. But the whole issue about entrepreneurship in the 21st century, and how do we also humanize health, I think these are issues we must continue to look at to build quality. And if you also must build quality, you must look at building the teacher's capacity continuously. You must monitor what they do. And you must have a support system for teachers, including mental health support system when they need it. And we must improve on our infrastructure. We must continue to upgrade. You cannot use the same thing we used to teach anatomy 30 years ago to today. We need to continue to upgrade, but more than that, we must maintain what we have. And that's why I'm so glad that the bond that alumni gave during the course of Moedes is still looking so good. Thank you, college, for keeping that on. That's a great testimony about how well they are doing as a college. And I want to thank particularly Professor Kaide Jadola and Professor Patope Kolawole for the fact that they continue to build on the foundation. And that helps us to grow and to continue to grow. And I hope we'll keep that on as a college. Let me talk to quantity as I close. Improving quantity. A couple of years ago, I had the privilege of publishing a work, a multi-country team, and we're looking at Nigeria and Ghana. And we made it very clear that the issue of JAPA will not solve it. In fact, this was many years back. And we must address that issue, but I won't have the time to address it today. I've had several interviews in newspapers, in media, and some of my opinions are very well known. If anybody is interested, you can find them online, what I've said. But my challenge is that we can't go on this way. We must reverse this.
It's easy for you to lose your doctors, but when you begin to lose potential teachers, you are in trouble. Because we will train the next set of people when the potential teachers are going. And that's part of the challenge we must address today. The other issue that I think is important to address is the whole issue about teachers' motivation.
Today, resident doctors are finishing. They don't want to join, they don't want to become lecturers because their salary is going to be worse. Even for me, a professor at that, I will earn less than a student consultant who just finished residency. So what is the inspiration for him to come and become a lecturer? If you cannot jump out, at least you can have something meaningful. And these are policy disconnects that we must bring to the attention of the new government that this cannot go on. Otherwise, our medical school, I'm using medicine as an example, but it's cross-cutting. It's cross-cutting. Medicine, nursing, all the areas, we must bring this to the board. And how can a chief tutor in a polytechnic or college of education earn more than a professor in the university? It can only happen in Nigeria. And these are issues that I think that we cannot keep quiet about. And I think we have the chance of the new government. We must begin to raise this issue because they just doesn't make sense to anybody. And our teachers in basic medical science, anatomy, physiology, biochemistry, they are saying medical doctors should go there. How did they go there? Without us motivating them in a strategic way. These are some of the issues we must address if we must really improve what we are doing in our country. I said this, and I believe this strongly, that it is possible to improve the quality of doctors and nurses without reducing their quality. I believe that today, our registration body, our regulation bodies are not doing enough. Maybe I should just read what I wrote. I strongly believe that it is possible to increase the quantity without compromising quality. Unfortunately, many of our regulatory bodies are rather flat today, where a high level of dynamism is required. NCCM, for one, needs to respond more proactively, dynamically, and realistically to the emerging crisis of rapidly diminishing physicians' number resulting from the high level of brain drain. And a very interesting example I have taken to use as a case study was Ife. When I graduated in Ife 35 years ago, there were 80 of us in class. We had only 8 professors and 2 readers. The total number of staff were 59. We didn't have a neurologist, we didn't have a neurosurgeon, we didn't have an ophthalmologist, we had only one medical pathologist. Today, our college has a total of 75 people in professional rank, 650% increase. Our staff strength has increased by 107%, but our student number, class size, had only increased from 80 to 100. Why? And I think these are issues that I know the provost has continued to look at. We have written, we have forced. I think the university itself must come into this picture. We cannot, on what basis have having 200? And if there is 100? On what basis do we have 100? And I should say university has not produced any doctors having 100. On what basis we have 180 and have 200? And I think as stakeholders, it's time to speak up that we need to look at the system and objectively develop a metric that will serve our nation well and also be fair to everyone. Let me answer my thoughts on that with this. For all of us, we all must be concerned about what is going on in medical science. As of today, only 1.2% of students who apply to medicine get an admission. In 2022, JAM said there were 367,499 people who took JAM and took medicine. And all the spaces available in our country by MDCN from the website is only 4,540. I am sure for a program, one of the worst moments in life is admission time. Somebody told me a story once of one provost who decided he was going to run away from, he won't come to the office, he will get to his home only around 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. And one day he got home at 9 o'clock. He met one Aishi who had come from Boy, waiting in front of his house. One day I came for AMPC meeting and we closed at 9. Somebody was waiting by my door when I got to the office. That he must see me today by 4, by 5. But I think that in a situation where a student gets 80% and he cannot get admission, you must be concerned. For me, as an administrative specialist, as somebody who's public health, it's traumatizing to the young people. It's demoralizing to the parents. It's damaging our economy. It's affecting even those of us who are students. And that's why I think that we must not keep quiet. We need to rise and to create more for more students problems, particularly in the university, so that we can replace those areas. Let me conclude this message. As I conclude, a couple of things come to my mind. To offer some advice for the nation and what we can do differently. But I ended up saying to myself, I think I'll focus on my own days. As we move beyond our 50 days, I'll move to the next new decade. What do we do? Let me say again, congratulations to us. 50 years, we've done well. We've done well. We've done well. It's time to set our own path for a better future. And we need that to condemn from our past. And that's why one of the things I want to do is to draw 7 useful lessons that will focus on as a good future. Number 1, toxic politics and camp culture have disastrous consequences that damage our university significantly. Damage our college impact. We cannot afford it. When we see people who are politicians, who are able to do this, let's make sure we support them. We need people who can bring community, who can bring institutions, not those who can support them. Number 2, consolidation and continuity make for consistency in progress. For somebody who started the movement, or when they took it, or when they took it, I took it, or and from step to step can continue. That is what we must continue. Building one step at the other, not destroying what we do to the ground. So it's important that we continue to maintain our strength and continue to destroy the group. Number 3, leadership matters. And as a college, we must not be emotional. We need the best material to provide our leadership position to give us the drive and the result that we need. We cannot compromise. No, the best man is the best job at any time. Number 4, leadership is not about me doing it, it's about shared vision. And this shared vision must not just be college. You must share it with our alumni and other stakeholders, more and more our vision, so that they can buy it. The college leadership that does not share its vision with the members and be able to attract their power and their strength to work with will not take us fast. So we must continue to develop vision, but more than anything, we must continue the power of sharing. Number 5, we must think about the alumni movement and not show it better. There is a discussion last night, my group. I want to say, I remember saying this. Alumni must respect and trust the college leadership. Alumni must respect and trust the college leadership. I can vouch for every man I have seen in that position. You must work with them, you must trust them, you must respect them. On the other hand, college leadership must continue to display the level of transparency about what was the respect and admiration of alumni. I remember sharing a story last night. One time when we got the mail, lots of alumni was listening to us about don't trust us. I remember sharing a story with them, and I showed them evidence that Dr. Abbas is still alive. Sent us on to do borrow. He gave me an estimate. When we finished the borrow, he had thousands of money remaining. We didn't ask him, he sent his money back. Sir, you have to borrow, you don't borrow, it's working, this is the thing, this is your money matter. Those are the things that we have used to leverage for the confidence of alumni. And the college graduates must continue to display absolute integrity. And they must continue to communicate with alumni so that they are carrying them on. You cannot be soft yesterday's today's problem, yesterday's problem. Alumni has views. Alumni cannot continue to be soft for all support. And that's why I'm glad that today our students are doing the mission. You must be so that we this college forward. So we must think about creativity. We must think about innovation. We must think about how we can do different domains in different models. Finally, in all at the college, excellence must be our work. These are gentlemen, let me think. Now, as we think about pursuing graduate position, we must think about pursuing 7 stamp professionals. 1, the account provider. 2, decision maker. 3, communicator. 4, community leader. 5, manager. 6, manager. And 7, lifelong learners. I would like to end this quotation from this copy. The greatest and most inspiring mountain climbing greatest and most inspiring mountain climbing achievement in history are not so much stories of individual achievements, but are stories of the extraordinary power of a unified, talented, prepared team that stays loyally committed to one another and to their shared vision together. Together they are better, they are stronger. To the King of the ages, the immortal, invisible, the Holy God, we honor, glory, and favor. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, College Band. These are students of the College of Health Sciences who just, let's give them a round of applause. Thank you so much, our students. Our time is fast spent, so we now move a bit more quickly as I invite immediate past Vice Chancellor, former Provost, Professor Ogunbodede, to join me on the podium here. Professor Ogunbodede, please. Very quickly, we are going to be doing two things. We are going to be presenting an award plaque to a distinguished Grillo lecturer for this year, Professor TH25052023. Please, can you join us here, sir?
It's my pleasure to present this plaque. I'm sure we have all enjoyed this lecture. We have learned quite a lot, and how I wish that we will have sessions that had to do with our history, the medical history, you know, like a course. And then even as the Vice Chancellor there at Ondo, we will saddle him with the responsibility of coordinating that particular course. I think we have gained a lot. You have done brilliantly well, and we are not disappointed. But I must also, yes, we are not disappointed because we know the stuff, you know, that you are made of, and we have just benefited from that. But my own regret, as far as this lecture is concerned, is that there are certain areas that I know you would have wished to shed light on. So, but because of the time and because of the other programs which you have not been able to do. So I want to say that the provost should take that up with you, you know, on private basis, so that some of those things you can also, you know, benefit more. So we appreciate you. And so on behalf of the College of Health Sciences of Obafemi Awolowo University, and on behalf of the alumni generally all over the world, so this is being presented to you in appreciation of this very brilliant lecture that you have presented today. And this is, let me mention, is presented to Professor TH25052023 today, the 25th day of May, year 2023, in appreciation of all that you have been doing for the college and then for the advancement of alumni relations in the College of Health Sciences. So we thank you very much. Congratulations.
Global alumni and award will be given is to our college partner. We have a partner this year in Dapo and Elizabeth Afolabi Foundation. Just a short narration of why we are giving this award to them. I remember meeting with the graduating class of 1993 sometime toward the, earlier this year, I think towards the end of last year, early this year. And a member of that class reached out to me privately and said,
he wants to have another meeting with me, just one-on-one. And we met, and that is our distinguished alumnus, Dr. Dapo Afolabi, who is in the US. And Dapo told me that Provost, give me a list of projects, and I gave him. I thought he was going to take it back to the class, but he said, no, my foundation will do it. And between January this year and this time that we are speaking, Dapo has contributed 10 million naira to the College of Health Sciences, single-handedly. He came visiting last month, and we went around the projects, and he was delighted. We had a chat over the weekend, and he said, what else will he do? And he said he was going to send another tranche of, support another tranche of projects. And for this, we are very, very delighted to have with us here today, Dapo's mother-in-law, Mrs. Vidal. Is Mrs. Vidal there? Please come forward to receive the award on behalf of Dapo and Elizabeth Afolabi. The money they gave us was used to replace and provide new inverters for all the 6 multidisciplinary labs. So when you are in the lab, MDL labs, and there is power outage and light comes on, know that that is the project Dr. Afolabi executed. All the 6 MDLs have inverters to power the light, the microscopes and everything. Also, he installed new inverters and batteries at the clinical skills auditorium and the classrooms there. All the classrooms there and the skills lab itself, the inverter power in it. This month of May, he sunk a borehole at the Glory Land Students Hostel. A new borehole was sunk there by the Afolabi Foundation. And he has given, he is committed to doing something else that I will be announcing very, very shortly. So I will ask the immediate past provost, Professor Ijadola, to come help me present this award. Professor Ijadola, please come help me present this award to our partner, the Dapo and Elizabeth Afolabi Foundation.
So this medallion is presented by the College of Health Sciences to the Dapo and Elizabeth Afolabi Foundation in recognition of their outstanding contributions to the College of Health Sciences at the Obafemi Awolowo University, and is given this day, 25th of May 2023, at the occasion of the 15th Professor T.H. Grillo Distinguished Alumni Lecture. We thank you so very much, and congratulations, ma. Congratulations.
Class sets that have made contributions to the college in the last 1 year since the last Grillo lecture. And very quickly we'll be starting with the 1990 class, represented here today by Professor Razak Adebayo. The 1990 medical and dental graduating class contributed to a lot of renovation work at the Glory Land Students Hostel.
Last year, and between last year and now, raised another 3.7 million naira for further work there. Then the global alumni award vice command effort for the 1990 class set. 2022 class set. 2022 class, 2022 medical graduate, Dr. Fashino. Dr. Fashino represented that today. Okay, Dr. Fashino, you are welcome. Thank you so much. These are the class of doctors currently doing their housemanship, I guess. Yes, they are doing it. And they contributed 300,000 naira as a class activity. Doctor, you help me decorate the next. So, the 2022 class placed the training giving back because they made the contribution at their induction ceremony, even before they started work. Raised among themselves 300,000 naira, and that money was used to buy cooling systems for the clinical students lecture hall. Next, the 2009 class. In the last 1 year, this class has raised 8.4 million naira, which has been expended on the providing solar lights. Solar, every room in the students hosted in Malaysia is powered by solar now, so that even if there is power failure, we can have light. Common light, and they also bought the generating set so that we can pump water if there is no light. And they bought the Scantron machine for the college, so we can now print our multiple expressions in the provost office. And they bought Scantron paper for us. And lately they bought Thunder arresters for the students who study English. That class is represented today by Dr. Ibaki. 2004, not 2009, 2004. Dr. Ibaki around. Oh, he stepped down. So, we'll come back to that. Dr. Kuti, please don't go. I will now call on the next group we are decorating as the North American Medical Rehabilitation Group, the North American Alumni, North American Medical Rehabilitation Alumni. Last year they began a classroom project, renovation project at the cost of 3 million. This year they are adding another 7 million. Professor Adam, come and represent them. Please come. Professor Joao will be representing the order. Thank you. So in total, we've given 10 million naira to the college in the last 1 year. Let's give him a round of applause. The next class, 2009 class. That's Dr. Yakeson with us. That class coordinator, Dr. Yakeson, please come forward, decorated. Professor Ayoka, come and help us decorate Dr. Yakeson of the 2009 class. They made a contribution total now of 4.5 million naira, which was used to buy to install solar power to the reading rooms and common rooms in Glorious Student Hostel. So all the reading rooms there now have solar power, so they are no longer dependent on NEPA. All the common rooms and reading rooms, both men and female residents, have solar power. Students, please return to your seat, don't leave. Please let me shut the door. Nobody leaves until we are done. 2006 class, I'm not sure if they have a representative yesterday, but they contributed 6 million naira to renovate classrooms, HSC, ABC. Now the place is looking brighter, the broken seats are repaired. Okay. For their contribution of 6 million naira. Professor D. Makine's class. Professor Mike Makine here, other members of the class, Professor Pashua, Professor Akintomide, Professor Nora Akinola, Dr. Aladesu. Thank you for your contribution the last 1 year. There was one day Professor Nora Akinola was in my office and somebody came to complain that the inverter room, the batteries were bad. The thing was the power, when there's power outage, the internet system in the college shuts down. And Professor Akinola said, give me the estimate, we will do it. And they did it. So we moved from inverter batteries to solar. So the place is now solar completely. Thank you so much, 1981 graduating class. That looks like Professor Fakonli. Professor Fakonli, please come and help me decorate Professor Wajiri. And I know that if Professor Fakonli decorates this year, he decorated next year. Thank you, sir. One of our greatest challenges in the college has remained the processing of transcripts. And it has been the Achilles heel of the aspirations of many of our alumni. So we set about how do we tackle this problem. The university gave us a separate transcript office in the college, but we needed to equip it. The university said we should go and equip it. So we approached the North American division of the 1993 graduating class. And as of between January and now, today, they've spent over 8 million naira on the transcript of it. They deployed over 5 million naira to buy equipment, photocopiers, laptops, desktops, printers, scanners, and a month ago they gave another 3 million naira for us to purchase the software for processing results. So we now have a result processing software in the college, totaling over 8.1 million naira. Dr. Aki Komalafe is here to represent the class, North American division, and that's also Dr. Dapo Afolabi's class. Dr. Aki Komalafe cannot join us today, but we recognize the class and we thank them. 2013 class, Dr. Ahmed Shanusi is here. Ahmad Shanusi, please come. Fantastic class. A lot of them are in their senior registrars and they are about rounding up their residency training. And this year, 2023, marks the 10th year of their graduating from OAU. They graduated 3 years ago, and to commemorate that, they gave us 3.6 million naira to buy microscopes for the multidisciplinary laboratory. 3.6 million naira to buy microscopes. Dr. Onipide, please come and help me decorate Dr. Amachan, representing the 2013 class. Dr. Amachan is the son of the chief imam of OAU, and is a freshly minted consultant in internal medicine, specializing in neurology. Let's give him a round of applause. But not the least, the 1983 graduating class, represented here today by Professor Mrs. P. Akinwisi. Professor Mrs. Patience Akinwisi, his Mama Akinwisi is still with us. God bless you, man. Please come forward, man. Fantastic class, 1983 class. We approached them with two requests. First, our classrooms in the dental hospital on campus. They also are vulnerable to power outages and things like that. So we said we wanted solar power, batteries, inverters, everything there, and solar panels. And the class consented. So now they are putting up solar power for all the classrooms in the dental hospital and the laboratory. So the solar project covers the laboratories there and the classrooms. And then we also are in preparation for the professional training fee that we are going to start in the college next year, whether you like it or not. We are starting it this coming session. We are not unmindful of indigent students, so we have set up a fund for indigent students who may not be able to pay. And this class has given us the seed money to start that project for indigent students. So let's give them a round of applause. Their contribution is 7.5 million naira, both for indigent students and the solar system, 7.5 million. It's Mama Akinola there, Professor Mrs. Akinola, to help us decorate this class. Let's give her a round of applause. an announcement to make for us, and then I will call in, I think, our administrator, Professor Ike, to come and help us decorate.
Thank you very much, Provost. Not like an announcement for the 1987 certificate in 1980, and we finished in 87. We were the penultimate class that had the BSc. They have every speaking without the BSc. So, and the way went to the rest of it. Not only but that one from my own class in 1987, I was calling my classmates. And what the professor who are on ground, they said yes, and they did what they call power lab. And we understood that yes, in order for that, it took it 10 weeks, that should come in. And then we put money in that we allocated to the class of public participation. And I'm sure we know.
Like you don't know yet, other members of the class here, please can you just come, all members of the class. We appreciate that donation of Power Lab, which is an extension of our clinical skills lab at the cost of 14 million naira in 1987 graduating class. Professor Noyade, please come.
and it's been a very, very educative session. To close this program, I would like to call on the Provost, College of Health Sciences, Professor Babatokwe Kolawole, for his closing remarks.
Thank you very much, MC. I'm now holding forth for the Vice Chancellor, who representative has been called out for emergency, something needed attention, urgently. Apologies. On behalf of the College of Health Sciences, I want to appreciate everyone very deeply. I thank you so very warmly for being part of today's. We are very good that it's been glorious. If you had not been here, it wouldn't have been this glamorous. And for this to say thank you, I think we all deserve a round of applause. The Grillo lecture, as I said in my speech, has acquired enough history of its own. And we believe very firmly, having just as the guest lecturer said, alluded to, that the primary foundation, when the foundation is solid, the foundation of leadership has been laid in the college, that nobody coming subsequently will add any other trust for to build upon, and we believe that our college will continue to grow from strength to strength and from glory to glory. Long live Babaki Awolowo University, long live College of Health Sciences, long live our alumni, long live our staff and our students. Thank you so much, and God bless you.
Thank you very much, sir. It is a good thing to give thanks, and the best job of any program is the job of giving thanks. This afternoon, very quickly, I would like to say a huge thanks to everyone. We thank permission of the Vice Chancellor. Let me start by thanking the Vice Chancellor, Professor Simeon Bakere, ably represented by the Deputy Vice Chair, Chancellor of Academics, Professor M.O. Babalola, for being present at the occasion today. We want to thank all principal officers present. The former Vice Chancellor, Professor Itope Ogunbodede, has stepped away. Thank you for being here. The Provost, the Deputy Provost, for allowing this program to hold, for pledging support, for being exemplary. We say thank you. To our College Secretary, Mrs. Fadeli, to all admin staff members here, Mrs. Herrera, holding forth, thank you very much for being here. The Dean Faculty of Clinical Sciences, my very OGOG, as I like to call you, Professor Dayo Chouande, thank you so much for being here. The Dean Faculty of Executive, Professor Brent Elborn, who was here earlier, thank you so much for being here. The Dean Faculty of Basic Mental Sciences, Professor Salao, ably represented by the Vice Dean, Dr. Ayodeji Ukoya, thank you for being here. Director Institute of Public Health, Professor Noyade, thank you for being a part of the program. Our distinguished lecturer, Professor Adeshe Rufasi, thank you so much for that very erudite lecture. Thank you, thank you, thank you. To all members of the 1987 class set, thank you so much for making this occasion memorable. Thank you so much for coming around yesterday for the preceptorship program. It was a really great occasion. To all medical elders in the house, thank you so much for being here. We thank you. We're grateful for your support always. To all HODs, members of faculty, the entire academic fraternity, and indeed all members of the OAU community here present, we say thank you. To all members of staff of the College of Health Sciences, to all alumni, those that are online, thank you so much for being with us and staying till the end of the program. Those that are in person, we say thank you. To all members of the College Alumni Relations Committee, it's a together what we're doing, and just like the distinguished lecturer said, we're looking at collaboration, we're looking at cohesion, we're looking at working together as one team. So thank you very much for making this a huge success. I cannot say enough thanks to the college band for their practice, for their passion. Thank you very much. To the students, so you clapped well for that. Yeah, thank you. To the students of the College of Health Sciences. Great students. Thank you so much for being here. To all members of the College of Health Sciences of Grillo University, alumni worldwide, we say thank you. To all admin staff, our technical and support staff, the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, friends of the College of Health Sciences, the Unimed community in the house. Thank you so much for coming around. Thank you so much for being in the house. To friends and well-wishers of our alumni who have come to receive plaques on their behalf, Mrs. Vida, thank you so much. My personal mommy, thank you so much for being here, Mommy Lion. God bless you. We thank you all for coming year in, year out. And we pray that as God preserves our lives, we will call on you yet again next year for another beautiful edition of the Grillo lecture. For now, we bid you farewell. We pray that you get home safe, and we thank you so much for everything you have put into making this a huge success. God bless us one another. Thank you. We're going to end the program with the Great Ife Anthem and then the National Anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, right to our feet. The Great Ife Anthem and the National Anthem.
I'm about one. Okay.